Good day, everyone. Computers in our daily life. At the end of this chapter, the student should be able to 1. Familiarize themselves with the computer number system. 2. Discuss the role of the ASCII code in computer systems and explain how computers use it. 3. Examine how a computer's systems bus works. 4. Identify the different computer network system and the wired and wireless connections. 5. Distinguish between system, software, and application software. 6. Compare and contrast a desktop app and mobile app in terms of content, layout, and design, and explain the impact of computers of daily life. Opening activity. Pass the message from yourselves into groups of 10 members each. Assign a number of each members. Player 1 takes the role of the computer keyboard, while player 10, the last student in the line, is the computer monitor. The professor will provide a message to the computer keyboard that needs to be displayed on the computer monitor. Create a unique single word passcode that the player next to you should remember. For example, player 1 should remember player second passcode. Player 2 should be remember player 3 passcode, and so on. Player 6, however, should remember player pips and player 7 passcodes. Player 7 should remember player 6 and player 8 passcodes, and so on. For the message to be passed on and accepted, the player should first shout the passcode of the persons besides him or her. Small sheets of paper and pencils are needed by player 6 to player 9. The specific rules of the game are as follows. 1. Computer keyboard will whisper the message to the player 2. 2. Player 2 must first shout player third passcode correctly before whispering the message. This rules applies up to 4 player. 4. Third player 5 will do the same player 6 by first saying player 6 passcode out loud, but this time instead of whispering the message, player 5 must write it down on a small sheet of paper and hand it to player 6. 4. Player 6 must shout both player 5 and player 7 passcodes correctly. Player 6 will then copy on a new sheet of paper the message to be given to player 7. This rule applies until the last player writes the message to the end player or the computer monitor. The group succeed if the message whispered by the computer keyboard matches that of the message received by the computer monitor. How computers work. The basic parts of computer are the central processing unit or CPU, memory, a keyboard or other input device, and a screen or other output device. How does a computer add or subtract, and how can its memory remember? The answer in computes. A computer does not have a human brain inside but acts in many ways just have a real one. However, while we understand human language, the computer can understand machine language. When a person types on the computer's keyboards, the human brain identifies the letters, numbers, and characters combined to create words and sentences. But the computer does not recognize letters as letters of the alphabet. It sees the letters as a series of is called the binary language. Humans use the decimal number system to count, measure, and compute. The decimal number system has 10 digits such as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. A computer, on the other hand, can only understand 2 digits, A0 and A1. These two numbers play an important role in the way computers communicate with one another. This type of number system is called the binary number system, with the premise by which means 2. There are other types of number system, such as the octal number system, from the prefix octa, meaning it uses 8 digits, and the hexadecimal number system, hexa means 6, decim means 10, meaning it uses 16 digits to represent its values. However, these special number systems are merely a way to bridge the computer's binary language to a somewhat understandable human decimal language, since computer data can be complicated. This is the equivalent number system values. With different types of number system, it is important to understand how computers interpret the letters on the keyboard through a series of OS and IS. This is normally done through the number system conversion, depending on the standard use. Computer systems convert characters from the keyboard and later display them on the monitor. From the following steps, from the keyboard, pressure pads are typically found underneath each key. Upon typing a letter, the pressure pad sends information to the CPU for processing. The information is then transmitted in the form of OS and 0S and 1S using the ASCII code. Living in the information technology era, the CPU determines what character has been typed and send the information to the computer monitor again in 0S and IS. For the monitor displays for information, it is equivalent characters, this time readable and understandable by humans. Majority of computer systems use the American Standard Code for Information Interchange, or ASCII, for converting characters into OS and IS 1S. The ASC11 code is a 7-bit code used to represent letters, numbers, and basic special characters. The uppercase character A, as seen on the left, is represented in ASCII as 01000001 in binary, 101 in octal, or 41 in hexadecimal system. Next slide is a table showing the ASCII printable characters as seen in your keyboard, represented in December hexadecimal, HX, and octal OCT formats. And this is the conversion chart. Notice how the characters are represented in decimal, octal, and hexadecimal formats. Computer programmers create programs so that computers can do specific tasks. People who write programs or programmers, depending on the skill set of the programmer. A program can be developed based on the programming language the programmer is familiar with. Another term used for a program is codes. Writing programs is called programming or coding. However, looking a long string of OS and IS binary format might be considered too confusing for the programmer, causing errors during coding. Take a look at the word computer in binary code as seen by a computer. A bit hard to read, right? The programmer might miss out on a few digits while creating a program thus to make it easier. Machine codes and made more human by making them readable and similar to the human language. This is identified with the different levels of programming language, which will be discussed later in this chapter. So how does the computer know that 01101101011000000 0111010101 is the same as the word computer, which character is converted from the ASCII tables hexadecimal, octal, or decimal presentation into binary language. For example, the letter C is equivalent to 63 in hexadecimal, which when converted into binary is equal to 011000011. How computers communicate with one another. Notice how the computer uses different ways to connect to certain devices. The computer monitor uses a wire to connect to the computer unit, while the mouse wirelessly connects to the laptop, etc. Depending on the situation, computers use different connection methods to their tasks. A computer system on its own communicates through what is called a system bus. A system bus is a pathway composed of cables and connectors used to carry data from a computer's peripheral devices, monitor, keyboard, mouse, etc. to the CPU and the main memory. There are three types of buses: the data bus, address bus, and control bus. Simplified diagram of a computer system implemented with a single system bus. This modular organization was popular in the 1970s and 1980s. For example, how does the computer know that the printer needs more ink? How does the mouse cursor move along with the actual mouse, and how does the speaker produce sound in time with the video displayed of the monitor. Data bus. A data bus can transfer data to and from the memory of a computer or into or out of the CPU. Examples of pieces of information that traverse of data bus include files transferred from a flash drive to the computer's hard drive and a document sent to the printer for printing. The address bus is used by the CPU to specific a physical address for instructions, files, and other devices within the computer system. For example, in a given computer unit, there are typically 6 to 8 USB ports. The address bus is responsible for checking which of the USB ports has printer connected to it along with the mouse, keyboard, speakers, and sometimes even external drives. A control bus is used by CPU to communicate with other devices within the computer system, as the address bus carries the location of the data being sent, and the data bus carries the actual data being processed. The control bus carries the commands or instructions from the CPU. It also sends status signals from the devices, identifying it is ready or not. The typically read-write commands are identified through the control bus. For example, if one tries to save a file to a flash drive that is already removed from the computer will notify the user with an error message saying that the folder or drive where the file is intended to be saved is no longer existent. This is because the original destination or location can no longer be sent through the address bus because of the disconnection. Therefore, the CPU sends a half instruction via the control bus, stopping the data to be sent through the send bus, often seen as an error message from the amount of data sent throughout the system bus depends on the size of the bus. Latest computer system use a 64-bit bus. However, the majority still use a 32-bit computing size for their computer systems. Take note, however, that the mentioned computing size is on a hardware level. Having an operating system or software application that is 32-bit or 64-bit is different. Again, the hardware is different from the software. It is advised that if your computer hardware uses a 32-bit has hardware, use only software programs running 32 bits. This is to avoid the hardware from overheating. Imagine a 32-bit bus computer working double time to make up for the excess 32 bits from a 64-bit application software. A 64-bit bus, on the other hand, can process either a 32-bit or a 64-bit software application. How computers connect to other computers. The next step is knowing how a computer is able to connect to other devices is to understand how a computer connects to another computer. Earlier computer peripherals using wired or wireless connections are mentioned. It is also similar when a computer wants to connect to another computer with or without wires. Computers are able to communicate with one another over networks. A computer network is an interconnection of two or more computers. This is interconnection gives these computers the capability to share information and resources. There are several types and of networks, mostly depending on the number of computers in it, how they are used, and what type of technology is used in its connectivity. Below some of the computer network system. Personal area networks, or PAN, is a type of connection which is often limited to an individual person and his or her personal devices. Normally, these devices must be within the range of 10 meters with each other. For example, a person traveling with a laptop, a smartphone, and a portable printer could interconnect the devices without having unplugged anything in using some form of wireless technology. Local area network, or LAN, is a connection in which group of computers and other devices such as network printers share a common communications line within a certain area such as a building or a small campus. LANs are often found in schools and offices. To secure the organization's information, this is done through a computer server in which users' access may be restricted to avoid unwanted users. For example, some schools use LANs within their campuses so that students can connect to the internet to do online research. Students are required to log in their information such as their student ID to connect to the internet. However, through the school's campus server restricted to sites such as online games, pornographic materials, and the like of implemented. This means that students will not be able to access this website inside the campus. Wide Area Network, or WAN, may be less restrictive than LAN as rules and policies may differ within its coverage. A WAN may be made of several LANs and PANs. A WAN can also be made up of several more WANs. This is why WAN is considered synonymous to the internet. There are many different types of connection media that are used in contemporary society to connect computer networks to one another. Connections are often categor- categorized generally into two: wired communication and wireless communication. Wired communication, different types of cables are used to connect to a given network. There are coaxial cables, fiber optic cables, Ethernet cables, and traditional telephone lines. This will be discussed the length in later chapters. This chapter focuses on a standalone computer system and the types of wired connection that are available. Computer systems have different connection which usually depend on the motherboards. From form factors, popular wired connection nowadays include the following: the USB Universal Serial Bus is a connection or interface that allows the computer to communicate with system peripherals such as keyboard, mouse, printer, etc., as well as other devices like digital camera, eras, and portable fans. Firewire. It is a type of connector that can transmit data to and from devices which have typically high data rates such as external hard drives and transfer speed of a firewire is faster than that of a USB. Ethernet cable. An Ethernet cable transmits signals between a computer and network devices such as a router, switch, or other computers. High definition multimedia interfaces. HDMI is a connector for transmitting audio-video data which are compatible to computers, projectors, and digital televisions. Older computers units have connections that include the following: BGA, the 1 to 5 pin video graphics array BGA connector has been provided on many video cards, computer monitors, laptop computers, and projectors. It is now slowly being phased out in favor of the faster and more compact HDMI connector. Serial. An RS-232 serial connection was once a standard feature of a personal computer used for connections to modem, printer, mouse, and other peripheral devices. Now it has been replaced by USB connections. Peripheral. Similar to the serial connection, parallel connection were used before the connect other computer peripherals such as printers. It has also been replaced since then by the USB connections. The PS2 is a 6-pin connector used to connect the mouse, the keyboard, to the computer. It is color coded and identify which peripheral which be connected to which port. Purple is for keyboard and green is for the mouse. Audio jacks are the 3.5mm jacks used for microphones as input and speaker as output. It uses color codes as well to indicate to the type of input and output is pink MIC in blue LI line in green front speaker out, black or dark blue it's some older both rear speaker out, orange center subwoofer out, gray middle speakers out. These connections are now being replaced by USB and HDMI connections. Wireless communication. Wireless communication include transmission, satellite communication, cellular transmission, and radio transmission such as Wi-Fi connectivity. Wireless technologies differ hardly from one another, but the most popular types of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, the Institute and Electrical, the electronics engineers, a professional technical association with members all across the globe, identify standard 802.11 for Wi-Fi and 802 2.15 for Bluetooth in the wireless standard. Wi-Fi uses radio waves to wireless transmit information across a network. Wi-Fi signals are transmitted in frequencies of between 2.5 and 5 gigahertz GHz, which are higher than radio and TV signals to avoid interference. Wi-Fi is often used in school, companies, and business establishments, among others. This is to provide network connection to multi-producer without the need for cables. Majority of Wi-Fi users use mobile devices such as tablets, laptop, and smartphones to connect via an access point or Wi-Fi hotspot. Bluetooth. Bluetooth uses radio waves to connect to the other devices. To connection via Bluetooth is called pairing. Once paired, devices are able to send and receive information provided they are within a given range, which is typically 10 meters. How humans communicate with computers. Reading a long string of OS and 1S can be very confusing and taxing. As such, people who invented the computer identified two areas in computer system: computer hardware and computer software. Through computer software, humans are able to communicate with the computer. Computer software. The computer software is a combination of instruction data and programs that the computer needs in order to do a specific task. Another terms used for computer software is computer programs. Everything the computer does can basically be controlled through these programs. Programs are a set of codes or instructions which are usually designed or written by computer programmers using a specific programming language. The most common type of programming language used by programmers is called object-oriented programming. Language includes Microsoft's C, pronounced as C Sharp, Sun Microsystems, Java, and an open source programming language PHP, Hypertext Preprocessor. Programmers have developed two types of computer software: this system software and application software. People might be familiar with the application software as most of the day tasks done in front of a computer involve the use of application programs, typing a school assignment using Microsoft Word, editing a photo using Adobe Photoshop, browsing through Facebook using Google Chrome, or listening to music using Apple's iTunes. The system software, also called an operating system or OS, is the most important software running on a computer since it manages the computer's memory and instruction and has the ability to control all the connected hardware and installed software applications. The OS allows a person to interact with the computer from the hardware components and peripheral to all the installed software applications and files has stored on the computer. The interaction can occur in two ways. One is by using the command line operating system DOS, in which a computer responds according to the next command that is typed. Two, with a graphical user interface or GUI operating system windows such as pictures and buttons through mouse clicks and keyboards entries. System platforms. Desktop systems differ from mobile system in terms of how each platform treats the application software installed in the system. Desktop or a laptop computer usually needs an application program to run a certain application on it, or possibly multiple ones to the same time. A typically example is that a web browser capable of running multiple websites with different applications all at the same time. In this scenario, Google Chrome is open as the user waits for an email from a friend via Gmail, while another browser tab as YouTube open as he or she watches video tutorials. Another browser tab with Wikipedia open is possible as the user is also researching on different computers peripherals. All of the websites are accessed using a single web browser. A web browser is considered to be an application software. However, this scenario is typically played within a desktop platform. With today's trend leaning towards mobility, more mobile devices are now capable of doing things which typical desktop computers can do. This is why companies that develop smartphones, for example, have identified a specific system software and application software for these mobile devices. Using a smartphone increase accessing the same websites is a different experience. Instead of using a web browser to access to all three websites, mobile applications are used. Mobile applications have a capacity to run directly on top of the operating system without using web browsers. Facebook, YouTube, and Gmail are typical examples of desktop applications that have mobile counterparts. System software. Two of the most popular desktop system software, or OS, nowadays are Microsoft's Windows and Apple's macOS. In mobile devices, Apple uses iOS for their devices system software, but while Microsoft is also using Windows for their mobile devices operating system, it is not the leading mobile OS in the world compared to its desktop counterpart. According to the International Data Corporation, or IDC, the most popular mobile operating system as of 2016 is Android OS, acquiring with 85% of the global market. IDC 2017. This is the smartphone OS market share chart. Application software. The table below identifies the different types of application programs and their corresponding software that are available in the market. Different types of application programs. Online application software. As previously discussed, application software consists of programs that are designed to perform specific tasks for users. Specific application software products called software package are available from different vendors. Usually, this software package costs money, although a lot of application software is now being made available for free, often called shareware, freeware, or public domain software. This software can be downloaded for free but usually with fewer capabilities compared to the ones sold. So online application software is now introduced with the improved internet is with being made available to consumers. There are various products available including software tools that were previously identified only as computer applications. Office productivity tools such as Microsoft Office Suite were only available offline, but now Microsoft has developed Microsoft Office 365, which has been made available to students and teachers for free via their Office 365 education. Numerous web and mobile applications are also made available to users, which oftentimes feature the same functionalities as the offline version. Google introduced its online application capable of doing the same thing as Microsoft Office Suite. Google's Doc, Google Sheets, and Google Slides are the online counterparts of Miss Word, Excel, and PowerPoint representatively. Other online productivity tools are also available for organizations such as data collection and analysis, especially for those in the marketing industry. PCMag.com has listed down available online service engines from 2017 and analyzes the contenders included in the list are Zoho Survey Gizmo, Campaign Monitor, Get Feedback, Checkbox Survey, Field Surveys, Survey Monkey, World App, Keyboard Survey, Outside Software. The editor's choice getting a 4.5 rating and is said to be best for small to mid-sized business. Sunday 2017. Not only can an organization easily disseminate its survey question to its client, but data trends and analysis are also automatically done by tools providing faster results. Thumbsguide.com has also listed down several popular applications available in the App Store and Google Play that can increase productivity, improve efficiency, and provide convenience. Below are just some of the apps on their list. First is AnyDo, a scheduler and reminder notification app. 2. Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint available for free download in both Android and iOS. 3. WPS, another office productivity suite that has same of Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. 4. Adobe Acrobat Reader, a PDF reader and information app which lets you view and sign PDF forms for reading, emails, managing. 5. Microsoft Outline, Contacts, and Calendar. 6. Newton Mail for accessing all emails accounts in one. For a mobile roving app that allows the user to create sketches and edit photos. Lastly, people who have no IT background can now create their own blogs and websites through online tools which provide web hosting and web content management. They do not need to learn programming language, although some knowledge is programming will be an advantage to further customize the web layout. Wix.com and WordPress.com are two of the most popular website creating tools available online. Both tools offer blogging and website content management systems or CMS. Users do not need to be programmers due to the simple and easy to use design of the CMS. Comparison between WordPress and Wix application for web development. Computers impact everyday life. The advent of technologies, specifically the development of information and communications technology, has changed the lives of people. Computers, for example, permeate everyday life is they are used in various fields in school, malls, and a hospital, among others. The following areas show how computers have made such as an impact. Education. Today's most elementary and secondary school, public and private, the higher education institutions have computers in their classroom. ICT in general has been things convenient and efficient for administration. What the use of computers, teachers can do research and enhance their teaching materials. They can join online forums and conferences and gain new ideas and learn from the latest researching findings. And students use computers with the internet access as one of their reference tools. They can communicate and collaborate with his peers while working in their own homes. School administration use computers for administrative work to ensure that the entire operation of the school runs proficiently, and access to all school documents is made easily and always available with the use of so-called server. Electronic learning is the newest learning methodology which student or teacher can communicate and collaborate with the whole through online discussion of their lesson activities and examinations. As example are Blackboard. Banking. The computer has been made of the banking transaction around the world easier or more secure, manipulates the entire banking system as it includes 24 hours electronic banking services. The service include automated teller machine or ATM, check deposit, electronic fund transfer, direct deposit, pay by phone system, personal computer banking, internet banking. Workplace industry. Workplace researchers and administrations benefit from ICT. Computers are used to expedite production planning and control system, to support chain management, and to facilitate product design to the industrial sector. Machines that are fully computer operated are now used. Researchers use computers to gather and analyze data for hypothetical reference, while administrators use computers to manage the entire operations of the plants or factory, to detect or anticipate explicit errors or deficiencies that transpire in the process. Some of large industrial companies that implement ICT include Toyota Philippines, Honda Philippines, and San Miguel Corporation. computer-operated machine, electronic commerce, or simply commerce helps with computers, internet, and shared software as the main tools. Needed buying and selling activities are made easier, more efficient, and faster. Customers, seller, and supplier all benefit from the capabilities of ICT. Some of the known e-commerce markets are Zalora, Lazada, Shopee, Metrodeal, Takatak, Amazon, OLX.ph, Airbnb, Booking.com, Agoda.com, and many others. Customers or clients use computers to communicate with sellers. These methods can save time and cost as consumers do not have to go physically to any outlets or department store. Supplier, on the other hand, use computers in keeping track of their transactions, which include the monitoring of inventory. Hospitals. The use of computers in hospitals offer many benefits to both doctors and patients. Hospitals are creating patient databases of health records, treatments records, and medical records. Also, with the help of ICT, doctors use computers and various medical applications not only for research advancement but also for faster diagnosis of patient illnesses through computing and monitoring technologies. Tests administered in hospitals such as blood tests, urine tests, brain testing, ultrasound, echocardiography, complete blood count, CBC, mammography, bone density study, magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, X-rays, and body scanning, among others, are made possible with the development of databases and other applications. ICTs prevent medical errors in particular and improve the efficiency of the health system in general. The chapter key points.